Hello, my lovely intellectual advisees. This is Sarah from youracademicadvisor.com. And today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about something that isn't readily discussed in higher education. At least it's not amongst the faculty, staff, and administrators in an overt way, but it is something that is prevalent in higher education that I think does need to be made transparent, especially to our prospective and current students as well as their parents. And that is the, for lack of a better word, toxicity in higher education. Now, toxicity is a broad word, and I'm very well aware that it has a variety of meanings. And I do think I want to make this a series to discuss each topic in a more individualized, in-depth way. So I think it's important to talk about some of these aspects of toxicity in a more individualized way, to further expand and expound upon them. It's very often that I think students experience some of these things that I would consider toxic behaviors in higher education, and they don't realize that it's an issue until it happens directly to them. An example of this is something I want to talk to you today about, and that is accreditation standards. Now, accreditation is a tricky topic, and I understand that it's vague and not very well defined, at least for students who are considering their options in regard to colleges and universities they may or may not want to attend. And I think it's so important that colleges be transparent about the types of accreditation that they have and why it's important. But it's not anything that's discussed. You may or may not know what accreditation means. So I'm going to read you the definition of accreditation because I'm not a dictionary. Definition. All right, so accreditation means the action or process of officially recognizing someone as having a particular status or being qualified to perform a particular activity. Definition 1. Definition 2, an acknowledgement of a person's responsibility for or achievement of something. Okay, so obviously, or maybe not obviously, but in regard to education, we're looking at definition 1. So it's a process of officially recognizing, rather than someone, something, as having a particular status or being qualified to perform a particular activity. Basically, accreditation is the way of making sure that the curriculum and pedagogy is up to certain standardizations within the institution that you're looking to attend. So say you're a current student and you're attending a university that is nationally accredited. Now, you will see that there are a number of online institutions, and not just online, but I do find that it's more prevalent in online programs. Not all, do check. There are many reputable online programs with regional accreditation, but you may see there are some programs that have national accreditation. First of all, let me say that accreditation standards, when I speak about these, I mean within the United States. So if you're attending college in the United States, even as an international student, it's very likely that the accreditation standard is going to matter to you in regard to your career opportunities available to you, as well as any graduate school opportunities available to you within the U.S. You may look at a school that's nationally accredited and think, national accreditation, that's better than regional accreditation, right? Wrong. Okay. We can talk about maybe another video the importance of a regional accreditation over a national accreditation, and maybe go into the different accreditation standards and processes if that's something that's interesting to you, the different types of accreditation. But just know that a national accreditation is not a substitute or an equivalent for a regional accreditation. A regional accreditation is the highest standard of accreditation in higher education. So you want to make sure, no matter what, now your school can also be nationally accredited. Say you're going to a school that has multiple accreditations, maybe has regional accreditation, national accreditation, maybe is also accredited by whatever faith-based program, maybe is also accredited by particular practitioner-based programs. If you're working in education or planning to work in education or social work or other practitioner-based degrees, then you're going to find that you're going to want to make sure that they also have additional accreditations to that regional accreditation. So there are lots of factors to consider. But the takeaway from this video is that you want to make sure, no matter what, that your degree at the institution that you're either attending now or plan to attend is regionally accredited. Now, if you find that your institution is not regionally accredited and you think, shoot, I need to hurry up and transfer out of here and go somewhere else, you may find an issue with utilizing those classes as transfer credits at the new institution, because they will not see your school as accredited, even if it's nationally accredited or accredited through some other entity. If it doesn't have regional accreditation, they're not going to think that your school has the standardization required to meet the equivalency at their institution. So you're very likely not going to be able to get any transfer credit for the work that you've done. So long story short, this is a highly confusing topic, and I do think it's part of what I'm talking about in terms of toxicity. It's not discussed because it is confusing, and really for some colleges, and I hate to say this, but it's just the truth, there are colleges, none that I've been affiliated with, luckily, that are just cash cows, that are just, a lot of for-profit colleges are just, not all, but a lot of for-profit colleges are really just out to get your tuition dollars, right? Now, all colleges have to have a certain set tuition amount in order to keep the business running, right? So just because you may be paying a high tuition doesn't mean it's a nefarious reasoning for that, right? They have to pay your instructors, they have to keep the lights on, they have to keep the services available to students, they have to hire personnel to keep it clean, to offer you food, to offer you advising services, to print your diplomas. So your money is going towards something. If you're an institution that doesn't have regional accreditation, that is for profit, be wary, okay? Luckily, I will say that most of these that are more predatory, I'll say, have been closed down, luckily. And those institutions that students have graduated from that did not have appropriate accreditations, where they can't get a job upon graduation, etc., those have been primarily, again, shut down, at least those that are the more obvious ones. And it's gotten to the point that even President Biden recently has forgiven students who had loan money taken out to pursue degrees at these institutions. Let me look up the example. It's on the tip of my, I want to say it's ITT Tech. Let me check that. Let's see. Okay. Yes, ITT Tech. But basically, the Department of Education approved $500 million in student relief for 18,000 borrowers that took out loan money to pursue a degree at ITT Tech, which was a for-profit institution. So if you're interested in learning more about that, I'll put that link. But do know that there are predatory institutions out there. So you want to make sure you're going to someplace reputable. And accreditation standards help to achieve that reputability. And if you're going to someplace that is regionally accredited, that means they have standards that have been approved and it is considered a reputable institution. I'm going to caveat this by saying I'm not suggesting that national accreditations are bad. You may be pursuing a field, but they don't care what degree you have, where it's from. They just want you to have a 4-year degree, right? And they just want you to have completed that hurdle to apply for their job or to be considered for employment there. That is true. There are jobs that, most jobs aren't going to ask you, is your degree nationally accredited? Oh, is it regionally accredited? They don't care. Like, the majority of jobs don't care. But if you're planning on going to graduate school, if you're planning on transferring to a different institution, if you're planning on working in higher education, you need a regionally accredited degree. That's just basically the end store of your money. And you just want to be diligent and make sure that whatever institutions you're applying for have your best interest at heart and is also going to provide you with the degree that's going to help you to be best qualified for your future career trajectory. So to end, I hope this was helpful. Please let me know if you have any specific questions or if you think I need to delve further into types of accreditations and why they matter. And I just feel like it can get a little it can get a little heady, and I know that's why it's often not discussed in a more transparent way, because it is so confusing. I've worked in higher ed now for a number of years, and I still find certain aspects of the accreditation standard confusing. So I am sure it is quite bewildering for students who have no idea what any of this means until often it's too late. Thank you so much for joining me, and I am going to try to post more frequently, weekly. I'm not going to get too frog. I'm going to say weekly. We're going to try for weekly. Okay, I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you later. Bye.